You know, I can already tell this is going to be a good episode. You know why? Because the story correlates so well with the intro. A story so awful with terrible, forgettable characters, a toxic relationship, and just messy writing left or right. You just wish you could die inside. You wish it would all just end so soon, but when you look at the page count, you only made it to page 20 out of 600.
Poor characterization, weak narration from the plunge over chain, the final relation to the pointless plot. Description is so apparent, the romance how some in the 1,000-yard stare. Book is thick, but nothing will stick. Gotta take my chances, well, that flick. But the worst of all, the reason I weak didn't get far on the 8-page steep.
Where can I find this
The bookstore's closed, the cafe's packed, nothing left to do but sing a little rap.
Well, now I'll just keep
Scan the book, pop in the DVD, and take some time, come read with me.
Hello. How's it going, you kooky lovebirds? Magic Mike on the mic, wishing y'all a happy Valentine's Day. I love y'all so much, I decided to put myself through hell again. Because clearly, I did not learn my lesson the first time. It's been 2 years since the last Valentine special when I covered the entire 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. That series left such an awful taste in my mouth I skipped the last year just to properly cleanse my brain from the sheer stupidity imprinted on me. And now I'm back, ready to do it all over again, but this time I'm gonna be a lot more careful with word choices because the last video I did for Valentine's Day did so well, but because I was F-bombing that series left and right, I couldn't profit from it at all. So we're gonna keep the sailor talk to a minimum here, but rest assured, the frustrations are still going to be quite livid. Today's book is After, written by Anna Todd. I'm sure most of you know the history behind this diamond in the rough, but just so we're on the same page, it is similar to how 50 Shades got its start. In fact, there are several similarities, beginning with its origins as a fanfiction. Actually, let me be more specific. A Harry Styles fanfiction. Actually, let me be more specific. A One Direction fanfic. You know what? I can go even more specific. A punk edited One Direction fanfic. I have never heard the term punk editing in my life, but it does look vaguely familiar. Random celebs getting piercings and tattoos edited on their bodies certainly explains so much about this book's insane obsession with it. This whole story went through a punk phase. Anywho, in 2013, Todd joined Wattpad and discovered that there weren't any stories with punk Harry Styles. Like, WTF, dude? How has no one ever written it? What is wrong with you people? Luckily, Miss Todd, the saint that she is, corrected this heinous wrong under the incredible username Imaginator1D. She would write a story about an inexperienced college freshman named Tessa who gets mixed up with the One Direction group, falling head over heels for Harry Styles. I literally know nothing about the band members, so it was a complete surprise to me. I thought the character Zed was the DJ Zed, if anyone knows who I'm referring to, and it was kind of funny in my head to just imagine these two superstars going after this one girl. And also Hardin's grandma is named Adele, which is just, I don't even want to explore that can of worms. Anyways, being at the right place and the right time, Todd's story captured the heart of millions and is still counting. Seriously, the story is still available on Wattpad, sitting on a nice 20 mil views. The kind of popularity that will get you a book deal super fast, just like 50 Shades. Now, I knew this book was bad. I already knew that going in, but what really caught me by surprise was that it was going to be 50 Shades kind of bad. The writing is so similar, it makes you think E.L. James was ghostwriting this herself. Where do I even begin? The fact that our protagonist is another innocent virgin who falls for the bad boy. The fact that she's based in Seattle and finds a job at a publishing house with the help of her fickle boyfriend. How about those same tendencies to personify her subconscious? Or how about the guy who suffers from nightmares with the only remedy being Tessa's body? The guy who throws a tantrum just to get his way, inserts himself in every one of Tessa's relationships to the point where he's just finally traps her with Elise and becomes this controlling, toxic drunk that just... It angers me that I have to revisit the storyline again. Though it does feel like the diet version, which is why my feelings about this book are mixed. About a smidge better than 50 Shades, probably for two main reasons. The first is the setting, taking place in college. Our protagonist Tessa is making a grand transition in her life, away from her strict mother and boyfriend, inviting a lot of changes. The declining relationship with her boyfriend Noah was already a given, especially when you realize the guy is in high school. Not saying it can never be, but that kind of commitment takes a lot of work, speaking from experience. That's two completely different atmospheres. And it also didn't help that Tessa's life was already dominated by her mother, and at certain points, Noah himself. I don't like what happened to the guy throughout this affair, but he also wasn't written with any redeeming factors. I'm pretty confident Todd intentionally wrote him to be such a square and mama's boy, specifically Tessa's mom, just so Tessa would gravitate to other options. I saw it as a form of rebelling against her mom and escaping her control. Also, she could fall for a guy who's just as controlling, and worse, but I could kind of see where she's getting at. And then there's Hardin Scott, little Christian Jr.
Gonna cry?
I swear the only things that separate him from the real deal is money and power. When Christian walked into a room, all the panties dropped and every beta male averted their gaze because they knew in their hearts they couldn't compete. This man had so much money he could buy off all his and Anastasia's problems with the flick of his wrist. Hardin wishes he could be this kind of alpha, but falls short. There's this character named Jace, who could be seen as the male antagonist of this book, and makes Scott look like Vegeta whenever Lord Beerus shows up. The only status Hardin holds is being the son of the university's chancellor, but because of their faulty relationship, he makes his own earnings and lives independently, and eventually spoils Tessa against her wishes, such as paying off her dorm bill so they could live together in an apartment within 3 months of knowing each other. So he's on his way, just baby steps, but his other qualities are on point. He's constantly insulting her, and not in a playful way either. He says he never drinks, but only when he feels like drinking. And these are the moments when he's honest and vulnerable and giving Tessa that whole spiel about being together forever until literally the next day when he becomes a complete ass again, pushing her away until he needs her again over and over and over and over, and it's just exhausting, dude. And it's not just him either. Tessa has her faults too. Maybe some of it falls to the mother, but Tessa is extremely judgmental and often a hypocrite for some of the things she says. I honestly can't tell if it's better or worse. On the one hand, Tessa's quite smart and is self-aware of her actions. I actually liked how they addressed it. She knows the stuff she's doing is bad, like cheating on Noah, or how terrible Hardin is for her. But then she rarely follows her own advice, does the bad, and then has the audacity to lecture those around her with good advice she wouldn't do herself. And do you want to know how she typically justifies this? Simply, she just doesn't care. Yeah, I did abandon my boyfriend in my dorm, stole his car for the entire night, and ignored all his calls just so I could sleep with my drunk and toxic lover. I should feel incredibly terrible, but I just don't give a f. But honestly, what could I have expected from a narrative built solely on fandom lust? This is what separates a fanfic from an actual story. There's honestly some good advice and genuine people sprinkled throughout this book, but because our main priority is Hardin, none of that really matters and stumps any sort of growth. The moments in between their fights and breakups are actually good scenes that are sped through and given the bare minimum attention. Her date with Zed is so normal and clean and healthy that it makes you believe that there could be a chance for some competition, but no. Hardin wins every time, and it's unfair. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, the last 100 pages proved me wrong. And I specify 100 pages because I could pinpoint the exact moment all hope was lost. Eventually, Tessa agrees to co-sign the lease with Hardin and they move in together. I've seen it before and knew exactly how this would go down. He became more possessive and controlling over her, trying to insert himself in all her social circles. The day or two after moving, he's already making surprise visits to her job, explaining to her boss that stalking interns is his favorite pastime. Who says that? Even in the comedic sense, it's borderline creepy, coming from this unstable mess. You rarely ever see her friends again, who barely even know they're dating in the first place, let alone move into an apartment together. And during the wedding between his dad and stepmother, Hardin tells Tessa she needs to be put on birth control pills just so he could feel her better without the use of a condom. Who does that sound like? Seriously, all I was really waiting for was Hardin to say that he hard. Like, that would have been the complete cherry on top. Every time the guys in these books get the girl alone, that's when it all falls apart, and she gives up so much for him. The relationship with her mother, her virginity, the potential to explore other options, and it doesn't hit her until the very end when it's revealed why Hardin's been keeping Tessa away from the group. And I'll admit, it even caught me by surprise. I'm not even kidding. I was so shocked I couldn't even believe there was a sequel. Like, how the hell would you ever recover from that? It turns out, this whole relationship began because Hardin wanted to win a bet. Ever since the second frat party and Tessa revealed she was still a virgin, Hardin wanted to prove that he could get her to have sex with him, and took her bloody sheets as proof. From there on, he tried to keep all this hush-hush from Tessa, hoping that she would never find out. Everyone knew too, aside from Tessa, making her feel like a complete idiot. She tells him to screw off, rides away with Zed, and then the book ends. Or at least it should have ended. The book can't even end right. The very last chapter is literally the same scene I just described, but in Hardin's perspective. Yeah, really pulls a 50 Shades Freed on us, but for what purpose? It's so random. Like, what? Is this some way for me to emphasize with Hardin? There were plenty of times for him to tell her, but he's really just a coward behind all those tats. Screw him and the way they ended things. It was so stupid. So yeah, this book has its ups and downs, and I was really trying not to, compare too much or see it as much as a One Direction fanfic, but with the occasional grammar errors, terrible pacing, and just the fact that I blindly read another 50 Shades clone, it's just trash. Not as bad as 50 Shades. I don't think anything will ever top that, but just trash. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the book, which means it is time for the movie adaptation, and I feel like it's gonna go a lot better. It's the same thing with 50 Shades. There's a whole team behind it, not just one person working on it. You got Better Eyes trained to fix all the inconsistencies, the errors, and just everything else. Will it be for the best? For the worst? I really don't care. So sit back, relax, cozy on up with your lover or pet, or both, and let's hope that the next couple of minutes will be a painless ride. For me, it's going to be 2 hours, so just watch as I slowly die inside. Let's begin. What does it say? Cal Maple Media? Diamondfield Productions? Oh my god, a lot of little production. I never heard any of these. This is another one. Oh my god, dude. It's Bowser Jr. with the paint. Wattpad Studios. Okay, dude, that was 6 productions. Alright, shh. I'm already bored. I'm sorry.
Hairdryer. Nope. Flashlight.
Mom, it's college. It's not a survival course.
I wonder how insufferable the mom is going to be. She was pretty... she was... most of these characters are kind of bland and one-dimensional. Her, of course, she's a true Karen. Oh my god, I'm also going to have to deal with the with the songs in this. Oh my god.
In the flash.
Dude, what are those earrings? They look like Mockingjay earrings.
Right now and requesting a room change.
What are you talking about?
That room reeked of weed. And
Can you please not make a scene?
I mean, Tessa was pretty alright. She was also on her mom's side in all this. She was pretty judgmental in the beginning, or throughout the entire thing as well. I'm not gonna say she had a change of heart or anything. She was also oh, look at this chick with her tats and her smoking and her vape. The hell is wrong with you? And for the record, I'm not emphasizing this, or I'm not exaggerating this at all. This covered 5 chapters, 5 really quick chapters.
This is the part I've been dreading.
Me too.
Oh, I was actually talking about the ride home with your mom.
Bullshit! He and her mom were this, they probably do scrapbooking together. Fucking bake on the weekends.
She thinks I'm gonna be a bad influence? She's just very protective.
Think I made a bad influence?
Your brother's cute.
Oh, you mean Noah? No, he's my boyfriend.
Shit, sorry.
No, it's okay.
He's a senior in high school.
That was also another thing. Her boyfriend is 1 year below him as well. She knows a senior in high school, and you know, that long distance, and also they're very different environments. So I can understand why she would do it, but also like the book didn't present any other opportunities like outside their environment. Like they didn't go and take a walk on campus. It was always her dorm, the frat house, and what else? Oh, this class, economics 101.
I'm Landon, by the way.
Tessa, hi.
As Landon. Landon was pretty cool throughout. Like one of the few cool characters. Girl, why didn't you put what? Don't they have like racks? Or at least a locker? Oh, there he is. Oh, that's a crazy copy of The Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby. It's a good book.
Yeah, it is a good book.
Hate to spoil it, but it was all a dream.
Actually, it was all a lie.
Is this how they connect? They're gonna connect through little picking at books. Actually sounds like fun. I'm not gonna lie. Look at this. A park, a field full of potential candidates, and you had to choose the douche who was wrong about The Great Gatsby.
You're going. Don't you want to have fun? Yeah, of course. Then grab your shit. Okay, let's get ready to party.
Now the real question is, which party event are they gonna start with? Because there's more than one party.
So, guys. Truth or dare?
Oh god, truth or dare. That's what they're doing. Okay.
Truth. Craziest place you've had sex?
Trick question. I never had sex.
I'll do dare.
She says it. She's I'll actually take the dare.
Do you want to do this?
Don't. It's the worst mistake of your life. Turn back.
I'm done playing this game.
It hasn't even started. Whoa, what was up with the camera there? Hold on, I also want to go back real quick. There we go. I just want to say that is the ugliest marijuana plant I have ever seen. That looks like a... Do you remember in grade school when you put your hand on a piece of paper and you outline it and it looks like a turkey? It's kind of like that, except kind of crap.
Okay, so you go to college and now you drink. That's really great, Tessa.
Noah, can you not be so, like...
So like what? I'm not the one who's out partying right now.
Just forget it.
Like, I understand. Like, there's a lot going on. I'll say that much. Like, yeah, she's out of a comfort zone, but at the same time, she's out of her comfort zone. She's trying new things. It's college, freshman year. Like, try some stuff out. That's all I'll say. But not in here, not in this room. Please, go out.
Are we still playing? Because I think you owe me a dare.
Why does this come off as so creepy? I don't know why I'm being so vicious right now. Like, all I could think about... The book, at least up until this point, made Hardin so unlikable. But this movie isn't doing that. He's literally just quoting books at the moment. He's not in that insufferable stage yet. But I'm telling you, like, at this point, like, he's pretty much insulted her. Just did everything he could to make her not like her. And which is what I expected from the movie. Of course, the movie's not gonna really drastically make changes to make Hardin a little bit more likable, and honestly a little bit more boring. At least in the book, he was a little more entertaining with the stuff he said, with those cold hard truths, but they just left it in the book quotes, and I don't know. There's just something about him that just bores me.
His father is the chancellor.
Yeah.
What a quinking thing! His father is the freaking chancellor?
It actually does hurt. You should get one.
If Tessa ever gets a tattoo, I'm pretty sure she does. Like, after all, like, the bullshit she keeps saying about, oh, tattoos, she's definitely gonna get one. Or maybe two. I don't know. Both with Hardin's name. Yeah, if she does get one, I'm definitely gonna call that character growth right there, because that's about as much as you're gonna get from this story. Should probably harmonize so I won't get copyright. Take taking a stroll down Twin Highway. Now he's gonna take her out back to the woods in Redneck County with a 7-foot shovel. And by coincidence, they just run into Edward and Bella because this looks exactly like the forest where they convene. Actually, this might be the lake from Friday the 13th. Jason, you there? If you stare in the water, you see a man in a hockey mask. Looking like a... Oh? Oh. We're good. I'm sorry, something does... That position holds many meanings. We're not there yet. Dude, this lake has to be used for like other movies, right? It seems like such an iconic lake. And also, I'll talk about anything aside from what's happening before your eyes because it is actually... If I just stop talking, I'm just gonna be bored. Oh, for the love of God, just...
I don't think we can ever be just friends.
Yes, you can. It's easy. Just polarize from each other. Stop. Her fate is sealed. There's no turning back. Stop. Okay, now's the appropriate time to say stop. Like, you just got a...
Why'd you stop?
We've got time.
Really? Somehow I doubt that. This man in time does not cooperate.
You know, I am gonna tell Noah about us.
Us? What do you mean us?
What do you mean? What do you mean us?
If you want to dump Mr. High School, then go ahead, but don't do it on my account. Look, it was fun, but I don't date.
And that's the point where you should just moved on, Tess. And it's even more infuriating in the movie because, of course, in the book, you imagine your own place, your own setting, your own atmosphere. Like, you were just close to, like, these specific scenes, these specific spaces. Like, I think there were, like, 3 or 4 repeated. But here in the movie, you know, you got landscape shots. You could obviously see the college and, like, the millions of students that are, like, around her surroundings. She could literally just pick any one and probably some from her class, but she spends so much time focused on this jerkwad. I just can't believe it. I just don't understand. I'll never understand. I'm just along for this crazy ride.
Surprise!
What are you doing here?
How are you?
That's pretty good. You know what? I like that. Because in the book, she called him to like, hey, why don't you come over this weekend? And the future events made it kind of seem suckish. But the fact that he came all on his own, that was pretty nice. Oh, God. No! Oh, this was like one of the changes. I was hoping they would correct, because should I play it or should I explain it? I'll play it through, but just remember that bike was an incredible change. Well, go on.
I thought you didn't drink.
I don't.
Except now.
I didn't. Don't. I can get it.
No, what are you doing? Stop, get a broom. Now you gave him an excuse to fucking treat you. God.
If you don't date, if that's how you feel.
I don't think that is how I feel anymore.
You got back and forth. Change it. I love you. I don't. I want to date you, but not really. Like, stop. Bade. Oh, this is definitely not going in the YouTube edition. Oh no. 7 missed calls. Okay, I can split right now, dude. Imagine that bike was Noah's car. She took Noah's car, drove it all the way over there, and you know that whole scene by the pool, just talking. You know, Noah's still like, "Hey, where are you? Where's my car, dude?" And she spends the whole night at this guy's place, well, poor Noah is just being like without a car, without any like transportation to go anywhere. Like he's basically stuck. And for the record, just remember, she called him to spend the weekend with him, and then she just jacks his car, goes up to this douchebag's house, and you know, they make the kissy kiss. So when I saw her like come to his place in their bike, I was like, all right, you get a pass. That was, otherwise I would have just I would just laughed my ass off the whole time, just thinking you actually took your man's car to this other guy's place just so you can make the kissy kiss. Wow.
My phone died, I'm sorry. A friend needed my help.
Wait, in the middle of the night?
Dude, where'd you come from? Also, it did not happen this way. Like, oh, it's so... Oh, he's just waiting by the tree. No, that mother fucking barged in the room and was like, hey, why'd you leave me? I thought we had something going, right? Noah's right there, too. Noah just gets so... This Gat man over here, he honestly doesn't deserve any of this. It's so messed up what happens in the events of all this. Like, I kept praying they would just break up so she could just be with this mistake. Like, for real. Like, I actually wanted them to break up just for his benefit to, like, move on. Because clearly, this relationship, he shouldn't be a part of. Either way.
No, Noah. Noah, wait.
Let him go. Honestly, this is for the best of him. You got... It's too... There's too many changes going on.
When my dad left, I was 10. But Noah was there for me, you know?
And then Noah was the only one there to comfort her, which is why she felt the need to, like, love him. Because they've been through so much together. I guess by now, a couple of weeks have passed through that montage. I can't really say. Certainly some time has passed, I guess. But the real question is, are they official or not? It is more of the kissy kiss.
Tessa? Mom?
Oh boy.
And after all this work, and you were gonna throw it away for some boy.
What are you talking about? I'm not.
She really wasn't. She, surprisingly, she actually kept up with her schoolwork too. As far as Anna Todd described it, like she had a pretty balanced life. It wasn't that bad. You did not. You did not. No. No.
Whose place is this?
No. No. No.
Friend of my father's.
Wait.
Oh yeah. I'm meant to be watering the plants.
Sorry, I'm jumping. I saw the keys. I saw the hands. I saw a surprise. What is this? Was he about to propose?
Imagine if it were our place.
They are smiling because they just subleased the house for the rest of the semester. Fingers in my mouth. What?
Nothing could ever change the way that I feel about you.
I don't know. Let's wait till the end.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Is this the wedding? This is the wedding. This is the way they cut out so much about this freaking wedding. They just put him into it. Dude, it was such a struggle just to get him to agree to come. Which is understandable between the relationship and his dad. The thing with his dad was so bad that once Tessa heard about it, it changed her entire viewpoint around this guy. Even though, like, he was the one in the book, he was the one who, I guess, vouched for her for the job. It was a publishing job that she eventually got in the book. So nice and generous. Compared to Hardin, his family is just pretty good going. I mean, you've seen Landon, right? So just imagine his mom, his stepmom, Hardin's stepmom, and Landon's dad. They're just as nice. But yeah, he just uncovered something pretty damn dark about his past. I was like, oh damn. Yeah, I can understand why. The nightmares were justified in that moment. Glow of the pool is shining under my brows. Holy crap, they're walking on water like Jesus Christ. They find a way to escape the scene to another and just have kissy kiss. Oh, kissy kiss. Stop kissy kiss. Please no kissy kiss. Oh no. What?
I don't know. What was it?
Well, now I don't know. You just dipped your body in the water. You just erased it. Not even gonna tell us. Rude.
You told me you guys have been hanging out. Yeah. We have. Cool. Really? Yeah. I mean, Hardin does what Hardin does.
The Hardin wants what the Hardin wants. What can you say?
Tessa's been filling us in on all the details.
Moving in together?
And you guys are so adorable. Is there anything you want to tell Tessa?
Oh God, here it is. Honestly, after this, I can't even imagine how they would even come back together. They, of course, they will, but
You don't think I can make it happen?
Make what happen, Hardin?
Here's a dare.
wow, that's kind of actually worse. They got criminalizing video evidence.
It was all a game.
Tessa?
Is that true?
They all knew. Your love was nothing more than a dare. Man, y'all, all y'all suck. This was also the last scene of the book, which is kind of funny too, because it was the last scene, but they told it 2 times from different perspectives. The first time from Tessa's, and then the last chapter was the exact same thing, except from Hardin's perspective. And it was just, what? You already had a good ending and then you just completely ruined it, showing the same ending. Like, how do you even do that?
You said nothing could change the way you felt about me.
Then I guess we're both liars.
Exactly. As soon as she said that, I was like, no way. Like, there's no way they could recover from this. Where did she go? She go home? Did she go to the frat house? She back in her dorm? It just does not look like campus. She's back home. I'm gonna assume this scene is probably in book 2 because this is all new to me. How's this movie gonna end? I'm really curious.
I guess I just never saw any of this coming.
It's like the point. Right? We change and we discover who we are.
Exactly. That's exactly why I was so mixed about it. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's also an experience. What college is mainly about. It's new experiences. It's new opportunities to explore. Of course, Tessa didn't do the right, some good choices, but they were choices nonetheless, and they were hers.
Miss Young.
Can this movie end, please?
This is what Hardin turned in.
Is this what he wrote to her? At this point, I'm just making assumptions now, because I know there's another book after this, so this is probably how. I mean, there are other guys, other readers. You could do better. Don't forgive them.
You once asked who I loved most in this world.
Is it over? So, how do we all feel about this? My favorite part was the ending, when the song started playing, because we are all conditioned to learn that's when the movie ends. I can definitely agree with the majority that this was a really boring movie, and for 2 reasons. The first being an arrangement of lackluster performances. There was not one person that was interested in seeing, and no one bothered to outperform the other. Kinda got the vibe that nobody wanted to be in this film and was doing it solely for the paycheck, with the least amount of effort put in. It also doesn't help that this is a cast with new faces, to me at least, and I couldn't really feel attached to any of them. I will say that the script itself was more organized and knew what scenes to pull from in order to tell a cohesive story, but truly, the whole movie is quite forgettable once the credits start rolling. The second thing that made this movie a bore was Hardin himself, which really speaks on what made the book more entertaining. If we make another comparison to 50 Shades, the most striking thing about that story was the BDSM aspect. You could change the characters and whatnot, but the main selling piece was the combination of its spurred popularity and its controversial depiction of BDSM. What does After have going for it? The notoriety of being based off of One Direction fanfic fanfic, which succeeded in capturing the fans' attention. From what I read off a Vulture article, the producer, Jennifer Gibgut, was a real fan of Todd's work and made it a top priority to give this story a feature film. She took it to Paramount first, but requested it back due to the amount of loud responses and demands she got from fans about the movie's progress. I like to believe the conversation went something like this. Listen, I know you guys got your hands full trying to get Jeanette McCurdy back on the iCarly reboot and programming some scary ass looking Rugrats, but I'm gonna need the rights back for after. My DMs are blowing up with threats and someone actually is trying to kidnap me and trying to stamp me with a tartan tat in a place where you do not want a tartan tat. So if you can, please give me back the rights because this is taking way too damn long! Oh, the rights expired? Yeah, that works too. So they gave it up, which explains the several random production teams at the start. From beginning to end, this was just a fan movie to please the fans, which it did. Ask anyone else, they tell you what I'm saying. Bland, generic, and takes no chances. The character Hardin was really watered down from his book counterpart, baby-proofing his sporadic habits, drinking tendencies, and outrageous outbursts. Messed up to say, but this story really depended on Hardin to be Hardin. We didn't order mild, we ordered chaos. And that didn't deliver, leaving the film in complete boredom. Now there were some small changes that I appreciated, such as the gender swap with Tristan's character, changing out Noah's car for a bike, and the overall narrative structure of the plot. Even the cinematography and set locations were decent, but there's really nothing else that pops out at you. Take away the fact that it's based off a fanfic and you're left with another meh romance that's predictable, unmemorable, and agonizingly slow. The book's a mess, the movie's a bore, two extremities I would not recommend to anyone unless you're in the mood for some bad writing or One Direction. But of course, these are just one man's opinions. What'd you guys think of the book or movie? Please, I would love to hear your comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And again, I wish y'all a wonderful Valentine's Day. Hasta la vista, baby.